Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please
Greetings,
gift the guests.
everyone.
And today's debate will be Issa versus Capone, evolution versus creationism. We just waiting on Capone. And to everyone who is not a judge, timekeeper, and participants, I'm gonna need you to step down to the comments to make room for the judges and everyone that's supposed to be on the panel.
Well, I
Thank you
wanted
for
to,
supporting.
oh, sorry, host. I
Go ahead, go
wanted to
ahead.
ask in the comments to the people how y'all feeling tonight about the debate. Who do the comments, not the people on the panel, think is going to take it home? So, what's up? I want to hear from you, Tanya. Who else been commenting? Are you little commenters out there? I want to hear who y'all think is taking it home tonight. Okay, we got some for Issa. Tanya says share the live.
Oh, Tanya is one of the judges.
Oh, Tanya, you a judge. My bad, G. No, Tanya, don't say nothing then.
Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the gifts.
Okay, so we got Queen saying Issa. Okay. Okay, somebody else say Issa. Dang, where my people at for GD? Come on, man. Don't do my nigga GD like that, man. But y'all know who I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, come on now. Don't do GD like that. Now, GD did tell us he was going to be a little late, y'all. Y'all know how it is out here, so. But I do want to ask y'all one more question to the comments because the topic is atom or atoms. So I want the ladies in the comments and all of y'all that comment, which side of that are you on? Which side of that do you believe? Because then you might say Issa's gonna take it because you believe on that side, or do you believe the other side and you just saying, Issa's gonna take it because she gonna take it. You feel what I'm saying? What's up?
So I'm a judge, so I can't comment on the debate. But what I will say, I told y'all to tell people it was at 7 o'clock because we on black people time. If you told them it's at 7 o'clock, they would have been here at 8 o'clock. I did warn
Anybody see
y'all.
the future?
Yeah, brother. That's kind of true. Well, the host was here right on time. I know I've been ready. I called Issa 30 minutes ago. And usually I'm running late, so I think life just be lifing for us usually, and that's just what it is. Now, for y'all not to think that GD gonna take it, I can't wait to see what he's gonna bring to the table because you never know what might happen. You know,
Fusion is
I'm
here. He's
excited
going to
though.
need a spot.
Jewel, can you please step down to the comments? Fusion needs to come up to your spot.
All right. Okay. Marv said
Thank
Adams,
you.
y'all. Okay, I like what Shu Diva said. She said, I believe in both actually. They work together. I'm in agreement with you. I like that.
Jabroni, that's Fusion spot. You need to go down to the comments. Thank you. Let me lock it for now. Fusion, if you're in the comments, let me know. Get in the queue.
So bringing skinny head
Somebody
up.
said lateness is laziness. Okay, all right. Jeez Louise.
No problem, Jabroni. Thank you, everyone, for coming through.
Don't
Thank
forget
you
you
for the
can
gifts.
gift the
Thank you for the
panel.
gifts.
Don't forget this is the perfect opportunity to share the live to as many people as you can. We got 439 people in here so far.
I promise I saw Fusion.
Yeah, oh, he's not. He's up here now.
Oh, okay.
Evening,
Let's
ladies and gentlemen.
Evening, evening.
Hi, Fusion.
Hey, hey, hey.
No, GD had mentioned he was a little behind.
Hold up. So I think he thinks it's 9 o'clock because Yashar is talking about 40 more minutes.
You know what time it
No, he
is.
knew it was at 8 o'clock. I think he's just a little behind.
Yeah, he talked to Issa, but I wanted her to be able to know the time frame. She said he didn't hit her back on that, so he's probably in progress to be able to make it on in. So
Mm.
hopefully, maybe we could have somebody reach out and see how much longer he's going to be. Um,
I think she wants to get him.
Is he doing another debate?
No.
My mouth is closed.
All right, so now we got more men up here. We got Fusion. So, because y'all tried to jump me earlier, I ain't gonna forget about that. So, Fusion, I was at the,
Balboa.
I was at a, what was this at? Panda Express, and I seen a booty, line of, the a booty. No, never mind. I fucked it up already. We'll talk about it later, brother. But to the rest of the men that watch me get jumped by these women up here, when I was talking about the booty spectrum,
you're
this
absolutely
is a
too
real thing.
dramatic. Nobody jumped you. We spoke on, you know, Swan just said that Swan is a petite woman, beautiful body actually. Still got abs. You know what I'm saying? But she doesn't have that big apple bottom that you're saying that all black women have. So she was just giving clarity on how we're all different for real. Now you said white women's rear ends are shaped like an ironing board, and that might be what we see a lot of times. But at the end of the day, there are some white girls that might have some buttocks. Now, if y'all want to lay down with that, that's between you and God, because that's a whole nother story. But I'm just saying, everybody is different. And black does sometimes crack. I forgot to say that earlier.
Oh, that's blasphemy. Nope. Nope. That's nope. I ain't gonna let you do it. So for one, no, I ain't gonna lie, black do crack sometime. If you ain't taking care of yourself, you smoke some crack. You smoke some crack, you going crack. That's to be honest about here. But no, I ain't gonna keep talking about booty. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. We'll talk about it another time. It's not about Jabril. It's not about what I seen
Okay.
today or the booty preference. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm putting it in the back pocket and I'm gonna put it on the
Okay.
shelf.
Hey, let's
Wow.
just
Okay.
create a PowerPoint on it and have another discussion.
That'd be
A
nice.
booty
A
point, so to
PowerPoint.
speak.
Yeah. See, this is why I said I'm glad he up here. He know
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
talking about.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I would have to agree with the sister though.
Is
Thank
that
you, Fusion.
our creation
Hmm.
argument discussion?
I do believe that we have I love black people's skin. There's a lot of things about black people that are just different, and then we can start naming those things. But when it just comes to the derriere, it depends on so much. It depends on your genes. It depends on this and that, and it could be one little part of your lineage that done got you a white person's booty. You ain't even know it. And just like Swan says, Swan still got a little booty on her, but she doesn't have that big, huge derriere. She has the body of an athlete. Still appealing because I know a lot of men who like a petite woman. I know a lot of men who like those body of an athlete type of women. So that's why, in real life, all we was trying to point out is that everybody is different. Okay. And I don't want to be held up to those stigmas either, because now we see that black women have been taken on a spellbounded ride to go get BBWs. Imagine that. So if all the black women had these beautiful round derrieres, why are my sisters out here paying to get buttocks? And I'll land
Yeah. So
there.
on a serious note, from a male's perspective, right? It's not the size that matter. It's almost the same thing y'all tell us to protect our ego. But we're being honest when we say this. If you go into the features and I I messed my word up. I'm eating Panda Express right now. I do apologize. But the features and the characteristics of a black woman and how that body is, we just love y'all. You can have the little booties. The little booties need love too. You can have the apple booty and need love too. You can have the big round, like just badonkadunk booty. No, we just love y'all. but it's just something about the creation of a black woman. That's what's beautiful to a man. So I do agree with you guys. There's not one particular body type that defines beauty, but to a black man, whatever how that black woman body types form, it is different than other races. Like white
Hmm.
women got the iron boards, like you said, and the big calves. They might have been track stars. That's why they runners. Chinese people, I don't know what Chinese people got besides, a high IQ. I don't know what to give their race. But yes, I do agree with you.
Let
There's
me
not
ask you
one
this,
particular
Jabril. Who made BBLs popular?
shit. Jennifer Lopez with
What?
her little, I think it was Jennifer
Okay.
Lopez with the living color.
Okay.
I believe so.
You saying Jennifer Lopez had a BBL or that people saw hers and wanted one like it? There go GD
Oh no,
Capone. Yay.
no.
Shalom, everyone. Peace, peace,
Hey,
peace.
GD.
Hey,
What's going
Capone.
on?
What's up, bro?
How late was I?
You almost 30 minutes late. You know how late you is.
And you're missing your judge, Jonathan. It's the
Jonathan
last
not
person
here?
that's missing. No.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me reach out. Okay, let me reach out to you.
Thank you.
Do we got a backup, Casey? Don't show up?
We can get one
Skinny.
really quickly.
Yeah, skinny.
Hey,
I guess.
you sure? Oh, go ahead.
It's your judge. Who you wanted?
Let me see who's in here. You must got tied up. There's a lot of people in here. Yeah, okay.
Period. Peace to the chat.
Know your Bible. I don't know. Well, he probably not free. Shalom, my happy first fruits. Um, um, I don't know where Jonathan at.
This nigga.
Give me
Yeah,
give
see
me a
if you can try
second.
to message him. If not, if Skinny is in the room, can Skinny say hey or something? Because he was supposed to be the backup, I guess. Thank you for the gifts, everybody. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Thank you for the gifts, everyone.
Thank you for that. Appreciate you. Love, love, love.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so right now we just wait. Yeah, we're looking for either Jonathan. We're gonna give him a couple of more minutes, and then we're gonna start talking about a fill-in, and we're gonna keep it moving.
So is it too early for us to start breaking down kind of the way the debate's gonna go while we wait on him?
Oh
Mm.
no, not at
Do
all. I guess.
did you send him? Did you send him
Mhm.
the okay. Oh, yeah. We could definitely do that.
Yeah, I sent him everything.
Okay. He was in here earlier too. Thank you for the gifts. Um Spider, go ahead. Do your thing.
You wanna
Oh, oh no,
just read it off, Spider?
I, I wasn't suggesting that I do it, beautiful women, because I don't have it on this screen of this phone. I wanted y'all to be able to do it just so we could get the people
Okay.
rolling. Okay.
All right. So I'll go ahead and read it out. Um Today's host will definitely be moi, agnostic. The timekeeper will be Spider, fact checker, fusion, and rep. Judges, Cosmic, Purple Diva, Tanya. Jonathan is not here at the moment. We're looking for a replacement if he doesn't get here by then. And Jabril. There will be a 3-minute introduction, 5 to 7 minute rounds with 1 minute grace period, two rebuttals to be used at the debater's discretion, 3 minutes each. Judges will judge on a scale from 1 to 10 on the following: directly address the topic, clarity of position, persuasiveness of the argument, presentation or evidence and references, identification of opposing arguments. Judges will be able to speak to what they heard after the second and final round. And please hold your scores for each round until the end. Lastly, the audience will vote after the judges vote, and 1 point will be given.
Yeah, that's about it. Very quick and straight to the point. So again, judges, please have like if y'all can put a little notes to the side, at least for how much you're giving each person for each round. And again, please hold it to the end. Also, I got you 1 second, Rep. Also, when it comes down to the lotteries and things like that, when we do the audience vote, please no lotteries. Hold off on the gifts. We appreciate all of y'all, but we want to keep it as fair as possible. That's it. Go ahead, Rep.
And one quick note, agnostic, we didn't discuss this, but at the end of round two, I'm going to ask for a signal just to let you know I'll be stopping the recording so that I can start it over for round two.
Say that again.
That's Jonathan in the comments raising his hand.
I'm going to be dividing the
Oh,
recording in
okay.
half. So at the end of round two, I'm going to give you
Come in the
a
queue.
signal.
Hey, come up,
Who's gonna
Bob.
draw? Who's supposed to draw?
Queen Anne and Purple, I'm gonna need both of y'all to job because we're using that last spot for people who have questions at the end. So I'm gonna need both of y'all to job. And as far as Crystal, I'm gonna need for you to drop, honey. Appreciate you.
Hey,
Oh,
hey, if
okay.
y'all
This
want,
is Jonathan. Gotcha.
if y'all want, I can judge from the comments, but it's up to y'all. I ain't mean to make nobody drop.
No, you're fine. You need to be up here more than anybody else. Really quick, Crystal, I need for you to drop, honey, just like how Queen Anne did. Let me see. Do you have? Well, it don't matter. So,
Crystal, number
again,
10. I
after
need
the
you to
second
drop to the
round.
comments,
Oh,
please.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Close the door.
So after the second round, after the judges say their little spiel about what they've heard, we're gonna take a brief pause so Rep can restart the audio, so it won't be so it'll be easier to just upload. But that was the only thing that he was saying. I don't know if you heard everything. But besides that, I'm ready when y'all are.
Hey, I know I'm late, but could y'all give me the rundown one more time of the structure?
Yeah,
I'll
and
read
I,
it
I
for you.
look, check your messages too, Jonathan. I messaged you the format. Go
Okay.
ahead, sister.
And I'll read it. I'll read it to you again. The timekeeper is gonna be Spider. Fact checker is Fusion and Rep. The judges is Cosmic, Purple Diva, Tanya, you, and Jabril. There's gonna be a 3-minute introduction, 5 to 7 minute rounds with 1 minute grace period. Two rebuttals to be used at the debater's discretion, 3 minutes each. Judges will judge on a scale from 1 to 10 on the following: directly address the topic, clarity of position, persuasiveness of the argument, presentation or evidence and references, identification of opposing arguments. Judges will be able to speak to what they heard after the second and final round. You're going to hold your scores for each round until the end. And the audience is going to vote after the judges vote. 1 point will be given.
I'm currently having an emergency, so somebody else is gonna have to keep the time. I am so sorry for the inconvenience.
If you're showing time, then he can keep time. That's okay with y'all.
Yeah, he can take Spider's place.
You sure? Are you down there? Hot? Shalom, by the way. So I'm down there. Well, anybody can do it.
I mean, host, are you shot down there?
He's there. He's there.
Hey,
Come up to 11. Hope everything's all right, Spider.
What happened with Spider? She okay?
She says she had an emergency.
Oh,
She's
okay.
not gonna
I hope
Yeah, she's not
everything's
gonna
all
have
right,
be able
sis.
to do it. And uh, just a warning for the trolls, you will absolutely be muted. So keep the trolling for another panel, please.
Okay, so Yashar is doing the time now?
Yeah. Yashar, you up to part with how we're gonna be doing the how many rounds and when to start?
yeah, I can send it to him. I think.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
looking for it in my messages right now. 1 second, I could just tell them. I think every round is 7 minutes, so you need a 7 minute timer.
Okay.
We're gonna have 1 minute grace periods. So when the time is up, if we're still going, we still get that 1 little minute. And then the introduction is 3 minutes.
Mhm. And I just sent it to him in his inbox too.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you for the gifts, everyone, and thank you for gifting the guests as well, and the
Appreciate
judges,
y'all. Love
and
y'all.
everyone on the panel. Thank you, Yashar, also for lending out your
Right, for
assistance.
that. Right. Thank you for stepping in.
No sweat. No sweat.
So we will be beginning with a 3-minute introduction whenever you guys are ready.
Okay, yeah. I'm just
Would y'all
waiting
like
on
would
oh,
y'all
go ahead.
like for me to would y'all like for me to let y'all know when it's 60 seconds, 2 minutes left? Like how would y'all like for me to relay that?
Um, can I get a 2 minute warning? And then if I'm still talking after that's up, just let me go on to my 60 seconds and then just stop me.
Okay, so after the 2 minutes, just let you go on.
Yeah.
Got it.
I'll either stop myself or you stop me after my grace period.
yeah, that's another thing, Yashar. So after we get 7 minutes each round, and I think we're doing 4 minutes for a rebuttal at our discretion. We get two of those. But during the round,
3 minutes, GDN. 3 minutes for the rebuttal. 3 minutes
three
for
minutes,
the
Salakia,
introduction.
3 minutes for the introduction.
Um,
I mean, 3 minutes for the
mhm.
introduction, 7 minutes per round. We get a grace period of 1 minute for each round if we decide to take it. Is that clear?
Go ahead,
Yep.
Jonathan.
Basically 7, 3, 1. I'm ready.
Am I judging 1 to 10 on each individual metric per round?
Yes.
So, like, for instance, okay.
So for every category, you're going to give us a 1 to 10 for every round.
And there's 5 categories.
Do
And
we need
do
to give
I?
our reasoning?
That's up to you. And also when we have that break after the second round, if you don't want to say anything, you don't have to. But if you do want to give like pointers or have questions, you could do that as well.
And Rep, what you said after the second round?
Oh, we're going to take a quick break. So after all the judges speak, we're going to take like maybe a 1 minute break just so he could be able to restart the audio.
Ah,
So it'll be easier to upload.
got it.
Okay. So how are we going to figure out who goes first? Are we rolling the dice again? Or the
Ladies
hand?
first. Ladies first. Somebody dropped down. Who's in box 10?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Nobody's supposed to be there.
Okay. You ladies first.
Okay, we're not going to just choose me to go first. We can just do the hand or the dice. Hold on. Did they get rid of the dice?
No, it's still
They had
there.
them
Oh,
yesterday. You want to be
wait. It
difficult.
was the lottery too. Let me I forgot all about that. Do
Let
I
me
have
grab
it
it.
where we can do a lottery as well? Let me mute this dude. He's getting on my nerve.
Oh, duh, it's right there. I went past it like 3 times.
All right, so where do I
So
go
whoever
for
get
the
the highest number. Oh, my
wait, wait,
bad.
wait.
Go ahead. No.
To open up the lottery.
The
Or
lottery's
is it
open.
open? Okay.
Yeah, I
All
did
right.
one earlier. Hmm.
Great.
And thank you for it, Tanya.
Oh, no problem.
Yes.
So we could roll the dice on the count of 3. Whoever wins gets to choose who goes first.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready and got the dice.
I'm ready.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Well, I guess I'm going first. We know how you feel.
Go ahead.
Thank y'all for coming for a D.O.C production. That wasn't my introduction. I was just saying that. Yashara, can you let me know when it's time for me to start my 3 minutes with my 1 minute grace period?
Start when you start talking.
Okay. Creationists believe that world was created by God. If that was the case, GDN would have to prove the existence of God, not just point to an energy or a force that begins the universe. Because energy that started the Big Bang is not the same conscious deity they claim. Science is not designed to study God. Science studies the processes and the structures of the universe we can measure and observe. Religious people superimpose their beliefs about God onto scientific discoveries to validate faith, but faith, by definition, does not require proof. Historically, the original creation stories, including Genesis, were never meant to explain how the universe works in its mechanical sense. They were about why the universe exists, who rules it, and how humanity's placed within it. Over time, human ego distorted the relationship, turning sacred stewardship into claims of divine ownership and control over the earth, often without understanding the delicate balance of the world. Historically, creation stories have existed across almost every ancient culture, from Africa to China to the Americas. The Hebrew creation story, found in Genesis, was written not to accurately describe the formation of the universe, but to assert the single sovereign God brought order, meaning, and purpose to an existence without violence or chaos. It's taught that humanity was created as God's image bearers, tasked with stewardship, not exploitation of the earth. The focus was the focus was relational and theological. Who made the world? Why are we here? Literal interpretations of Genesis insist on a 6-day, 6,000-year-old to 10,000-year-old earth. Did not dominate Christian thought until the rise of the Protestant fundamentalism in the 19th and 20th century to compete with science discoveries like geology, evolution, and the Big Bang. Before that, Christian thinkers interpreted Genesis symbolically, seeing the creation story as a spiritual truth rather than a scientific account. Modern creationism is a recent invention born from fear of scientific change than from ancient theological tradition. The Genesis creation story also served as a direct challenge to the dominant creation myths of the ancient Near East. Ancient medieval Christian scholars reflect that deeper understanding of Genesis. Saint Origen of Alexandria, a Christian scholar, a pioneer in Christian theologian and philosopher, argued that Genesis must be read symbolically, stating, "What man of intelligence will believe that first, second, and
Times.
the third day existed?" Oh, that's my time? Thank you. Oh, existed without the sun, moon, and stars. That's it. That was my time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm still going? Okay.
GD Capone.
All right. Give me 1 second. Let me show my screen. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Can y'all hear me clearly?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Hey,
All right. So I might get a little passionate, so you probably need to turn your phone down, right? Um okay, so go ahead, Jonathan. You had a question before we start?
I was gonna ask about 30 more seconds just to finish writing these notes.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Wait a minute. Hey,
Okay, so all praises to the Most High, Ahaya Shad Ahaya, Bayushin Yeshaya, Waka Wak. Shalom, everybody. My name is GDN Capone. Today we are discussing evolution versus creationism, right? So we need to understand what evolution is in creation. Okay, evolution and creationism represent fundamentally different explanation in the origin of the development of the earth. Evolution, a scientific theory, posits the living organism has changed over time through natural selection in genetic variation and other mechanisms such as the Big Bang. Over. Creationism, often rooted in religious belief, and proposed a divine or supernatural force or an intelligent, supreme intelligent being, what we call God, created the universe and all living things, typically within a specific time frame, and sometimes drawing to religious texts like the Bible, which I will be basing the majority of my argument off of. Um, I'm gonna so the whole point is I'm proving creation using the Bible, science, and mathematics. I will also be going into DNA, and I will be debunking Darwinism. Um, I will be debunking Darwinism in my later rounds. One thing about this evolution thing is that people has been misinformed. The Bible says in Psalms 14:1 in verse 1 to 2. The fool saith in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt, and they have done abominable work. There is no good. There is none that doeth good. Right. So that's Psalms 14:1. Right. So why did I bring this out? Because evolution, the scientist points to it being no God. Things just happen. They call it an event, which they call it the Big Bang, which is a reaction, not an event. Right? It goes against the laws of physics. It goes against the thermodynamics. It goes against Newton's laws of motion. It goes against all the science. When the Bible was here already, 3,000 years before these scientists ever came up with these concepts and ideology. So today I will be proving that using the Bible as my basis. I'm done.
Time. Good timing. Good timing.
That concludes their introduction, and we will start at the first round with Issa.
I don't see anything on your screen, Yashar. So, you ready? Oh, it's just not in focus. All right. I'm gonna just start. So, I just want to reiterate something I was going to get cut off by saying. Uh, Early Christian philosophers, right? We have St. Augustine. His writing influenced the development of Western philosophy. And he taught that God created all things together in a single moment of creation, but recorded them as taking place over 6 days to accommodate human understanding, meaning that it wasn't never supposed to be taken literally, right? Another one, Saint Origin of Alexandria, like I was saying before. What man of intelligence will believe that the first, second, and third day existed without the sun, the moon, and the stars? And this is on First Principles, Book 4, right? And then Thomas Aquinas, Italian priest, and he was in the order of the preachers, approved by the Pope. And he says, according to human perception, often using figurative language. This is supposed to be figuratively speaking, not literally. And across the Near East, right, we have all types of stories. And you'll find, if you look into these other stories, that all of these stories, Genesis is really just an antithesis to what they have come before, right? So you have the Enuma Elish in Babylon, where Marduk slays the dragon and builds the world out of her body. You have the Canaanite Baal cycle where he kills the god Yam and the god Ma'at and creates order. You have Egyptian mythology where you know the god comes out of chaos of the waters of noon and creates these things. So all of these creation stories is basically telling you that it's coming out of this place of chaos. And then here comes Genesis. Genesis creation story, there is no war, there's no blood, there's no rival gods. Is one sovereign God simply speaks and reality obeys. Light and darkness separate, skies and seas part. Everything just goes happily, right? And one thing about the Genesis story that I feel that people are continuously missing is the idea of the cosmic temple. In the ancient world, building a temple wasn't just about the architecture, it was about creating a sacred space where the heaven and the earth connected. According to Dr. John H. Walton, a prominent Old Testament scholar, the writer of The Lost World of Genesis, he focuses on the functional origins rather than the material ones, presenting cosmos as a temple where God takes up residence. And I actually have a slide for that. Give me 1 second. But first, they structure the temple, organizing the temple into zones: outer court, holy place, inner sanctuary. Then they filled it with life: the lamps, the stars, the water basins, symbolizing the seas and the gardens. And then afterwards, they placed the image of God inside the temple, or the image or God's image inside the Garden of Eden. Like God is literally making a cosmic temple and we're following its instructions with our temples, right? So let me really quickly, how many minutes do I have so I can show you a little bit better than that? Can you stop my slide? I'm sorry. I just have to share my screen. As soon as I get the slide, you can start the it again. Give me 1 second. So here, I said it a little fast, but I'm going to show you again, right? How it gets perpetuated inside the Bible. The divine presence. God walks into the Garden of Eden, Genesis 3:8. I'm sorry, I'm starting. Genesis 3:8. God's presence dwells in the Holy of Holies, Exodus 25:8. Entrance from the east. Entrance to the Garden of Eden was from the east. The temple entrance faces the east, Ezekiel. We have again the cherubims, guardians, that guards the Garden of Eden, also guards the Holy of Holies outside, Exodus 25, right? Tree of life, the lampshade, tree of life again in the center in Genesis 2:9. The menorah is shaped like the tree of life, stood in the holy place, Exodus 25. River flows without, the rivers flowing from Eden, watering the world in Genesis 2. A river of life flows from the temple and visions in Ezekiel. The priestly role, Adam is laid to work and guard in Eden, and the same as the Hebrew verbs used for the priest guarding and serving the sanctuary. Eden's implied to elevate is Eden implied to elevation with mountain symbolism, and the temples built on the mountains in Mountain Jerusalem and Zion theology. All of these things is basically showing you even the exile after the sin. Adam and
Two
Eve is
minutes. Two
exiled.
minutes.
Thank you. Adam and Eve is like exile. Israelites exiles when they defile the temple, right? So we have all of these cosmic similarities between the cosmic temple that he was creating in Genesis and the temple that we create here on earth. We're mirroring our God in this way. And also when it comes down for just just looking at all of this information just kind of dismantles this idea that we were here in this literal sense of Genesis, when obviously the way we're building these temples and the way that the Genesis story is written to mirror each other. um and just as the evidence that I've shown dismantles that. Oh, and one more thing. I'm sorry. One more thing. When it comes to the Sabbath, right, and the Shabbat, right, this day was a day for them to stop working, the day that God reigned in on the seventh day. And this was not to just like be resting. This was rulership. The king was supposed to rest and rule over his people. That's the way the that's the way that Adam was set to rule over the animals of the kingdom. They are mirroring each other. So I just said all of that to say this. Just the way when you start to look at it fundamentally, you see how it becomes more symbolism than literalism. And that's the problem with creationism. Creation is taking sacred stories and making it literal, and it's not paying attention to the actual things that it's telling you. And I land.
Capone, time.
All right.
Your turn.
All right. So
All
the
right, let me come out
sister,
of my shit.
Okay. Look, I know y'all gonna be like, man, you sure you on some BS, but look, my wife just got on me about being on here right now, so I'm gonna have to take a little break.
all right,
Sorry about
all
that. I
good.
apologize.
Um,
Okay, let me set my clock so we can do this 7 minutes.
Can I ask a question?
And
Can the judges have at least 10 seconds to finish notes off? Because I think Jonathan asked that earlier. Just in between rounds.
Yeah,
oh,
I was gonna say,
absolutely. How you
okay.
making out, Jonathan?
I'm caught up now.
Okay.
Yeah, so real quick, I know we just heard IssaKween round one. Are we gonna kick Capone round one or Capone rebuttal?
No,
This
no,
is my
who's speaking? Go ahead.
no. Go ahead, sis.
Oh, we're on the first round. Issa already went up. Now is Capone's turn.
Okay.
And we're gonna do the rebuttals is after the second round.
Are
No,
the
it's not
rebuttals judged?
after the
No, they
second
get
round.
Wait.
Hold, yeah,
Two
it's just
rebuttals.
when
Two rebuttals
it's
to be
whenever we
used at the
feel
debate. Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, and do we judge those or just the round, or do we combine that with the existing score?
Yeah, those are being judged as well, but it's not being scored all the way because I didn't know how to really score it because we wasn't doing it the original way. But box 11, I'm gonna need you to drop down, hon.
Okay, I'm gonna drop him.
Okay, y'all ready?
No, hold on. I gotta get my timer.
Wait, hold on.
Let's see if we can get this to work. Oh, damn it. 1 second.
Give me a second.
Let them know when it's time is starting.
Let me know when you're ready. You're ready, Capone?
Yeah, I'm back. Okay. Everybody good?
Yeah. I'm getting ready to start now.
Okay, so my Talaka, the sister, she has a problem with the Bible. One thing about this debate, the debate is not about the Bible. So I'm gonna reiterate what I said in my first round. Psalms 14, verse 1 and 2. Fool has said in his heart there is no God, and that's what this sister is doing. She's saying that there's no God because she's following evolution, right? And it says the Lord, the Most High, looked down from heaven. That's what we call space upon the children of men to see if there were any that understand and seek God. So that's the whole thing about it. So you're supposed to be seeking God. And how do you do that? By reading the Bible and through observation, which is science. So let's get to the round, right? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis 1 and 1. Now, why did Moses put this here? Let's find out. Bam. It says, let us, let us notice some example of the harmony between the science that's in the Bible. In It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth. Genesis 1 and 1. It's written as an inspiration of Moses, right? By Moses through the inspiration of the Holy Spirit about 1500 BC. In 1820 AD, a man named Herbert Spencer gave the world 5 scientific principles which man shall study the unknown or a scientific phenomenon. It says they are time, force, energy, space, and matter. However, Moses, by the inspiration of the Most High, gave us these principles in Genesis 1 and 1. As you can see here, it says, in the beginning, that's time. God, that's the force. Created, that's the energy or the motion. It says the heavens, that's space, and the earth, that's matter. So right here, science is agreeing. So what I did here, this is generative AI. So I just asked that. Oh, hold on. How's my time? So what I did, I just asked. You can start it back. I just asked the AI to see do we still go by this? It says time, force, energy, space, and matter. are fundamental concepts of physics and cosmology, often used to describe the universe and its workings. These concepts are interconnected and essentially for understanding how the universe functions. Understanding these relationships is critical for the comprehending of the workings of the universe as described by physics and cosmology. So, as you can see, we still go by those same principles. Let's go on. Bam. The five manifestations of a natural phenomenon. Let's see what it says. Say, so space, time, matter, motion are all apparently necessary data for of intelligence. Yet a psychological analysis shows us that these are either built up of or extracted from the experience of force. So time, force, action, space, and matter are the five manifestations of all scientific phenomena. So what this is saying? This is saying what? What Moses is saying in Genesis 1 and 1, that it was a scientific national phenomenon. It says this truth is fundamental. So this is a fundamental truth in science. Let's go on. So here's the science behind it, right? I got this for FermLab, and it says space, science of matter, energy, space, and time. And it says what the world is made of, the building blocks. So these is the building blocks of what the world is made of. All this is noted in Genesis 1 and 1. Now, how did the evolutionists pass this up? That's what we need to ask. This is the transmission of the Bible. We have the Hebrew manuscripts in 1450, around 1450 to 500 BC, right? And then, so down here it says translations over 500 languages by 400 AD. Okay, the guy that brought up Spencer, Herbert Spencer, is in 1820. That's 3,000 years. Look, 3,000 years. Genesis 1 and 1, no matter how many translated to over 500 language, 400 AD. So no matter how many language, whatever you read, it's going to say the same thing. And science agree with the Bible. Let's go on. Okay, now this is Genesis 2. So the Bible goes on. It says, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of the Most High moved upon the face of the waters, and God said, let there be light, and there was light, and God saw the light, and the light was good, and God divided the light from the darkness, and God called it the light day, and the darkness he called night. In the evening and the morning was the first day. That's Genesis 1, verses 2 to 5. So here's a look at how the earth would have looked. Here's a picture of how the earth would look as it being without form and void. And here's a scripture right here. From the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11, verse 17. For thy almighty hand that made the world out of matter without form. So it's talking about it without form. So these is like gases and elements, right? Bam. So let's go on. See what the scientists say. So this is the Big Bang expansion. Right here you see the light, you see the cosmic background. This is the firmament, right? Which I'm gonna get into next. And then right here you see the darkness in the middle, and you see it's separating the darkness, and you got lights. Well, we get what? The stars and the constellations and galaxies and nebulas and all this stuff, right?
25 seconds.
25 seconds. Lord have mercy. So right here, Genesis 1 and 6 and 8. The firmament was created, the water was divided, and below the firmament, and the firmament was called heaven. And in Genesis 1 and verse 9 to 13, the dry land merges, the land and the sea is divided, the origin of the seas and the origin of the fruit, and the vegetation and the earth brought forth fruit, vegetations, and seeds.
Did one of the judges drop?
Sorry about that. I wasn't looking at.
Okay, just as long as you're here.
My bad. I wasn't looking at my phone. I'm over here typing.
Not a problem. You good, right?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
All right. Issa, let me know when to start.
Yes, give me 1 second. You know what? Can I use one of my rebuttals? My little 3-minute rebuttal.
Capone. Capone.
What's
I
GD.
what's
mean,
what's
I'm
the
just
part?
using.
No. She's just letting y'all know. That's up to her.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling
Oh,
you
okay.
to change it from 7 minutes to 3 minutes because I want to use one of my rebuttals.
Got it. All right, let me know when to start.
You can start now. So, a lot of what I'm having a problem with people who talk about creationism, like they try to frame the other person like they're anti-Bible because they're talking about the Bible within the conversation, when all of your evidence is going to be rooted in that. It looks as though that way for me, right? So if you're telling me that, you're going by the Adam and Eve story, I could only attack the Adam and Eve story. And unfortunately, I don't think you were paying attention when I said twice that a lot of your Christian leaders of the time, St. Augustine of Hippo, he was one of the founders of Western Christianity, who says God created all things together in a single moment, but creation recorded them as taking place over 6 days to accommodate for human understanding. So this idea that you're bringing to the table, that it only took 7 days, even if there was a God, you're still flawed in your thinking by the people who teaches your stuff, right? And then you also have St. Origen of Alexandria, who says, what man of intelligence will believe that the first, second, and third day exists without the sun, the moon, and the stars? So if your idea of science is still rooted in what you're talking about, you are still flawed. And the idea that Moses was talking about science when science is a Latin word, and I'm guessing he spoke Hebrew, because again, you would have to bring into effect that we don't even know if Moses is real, let alone what he said. But then again, you're gonna hit me with some Bible verses. But it's up to your discretion. All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, if you're gonna keep on quoting people, you gotta show me a body. You got to show me a grave site. You got to show me an artifact to prove that these are the words, at least to prove that the person walked around. And then we could talk about if that's that person's words or not. I land. I'm ready for my round 2 now.
Start the clock. Wait.
Okay.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay. Now.
So we're going to get back into the faults of creationism before I get you into the story of evolution. Another thing that creationism kind of falls on, besides the Genesis cosmic temple story, would be the flood narrative. That isn't, unique to just Noah. Mesopotamia, Gilgamesh, they had the same thing where, build a large boat, save the animals, survive. It's an identical thing. And Noah's Ark story was never about shipbuilding or physics. It was literally it was a sacred metaphor of human corruption, justice, like divine justice, these things, right? Because these are these are myths, right? So the Noah story also fits a larger archetype of the vengeful deity after unleashing destruction feels deep regret. In the books like The Great Flood, a handbook of world myths, um, they make comparison to the flood stories throughout the world and explains deeper meaning. And the epic of Gilgamesh, the gods mourn after the violence and flooding the world. And the Atrahasis epic, Enlil floods the world and then he promises restraint. He feels regret. In Yoruba traditions, right? Ogun, he he orders a town to bar its gates, and when they obeyed him and didn't let him back in, he slaughters the whole town. And when he realizes what he did, he feels tremendous guilt, and then he leaves in sorrow. All even Genesis, right? um, the flood story, God says, "Never again will I curse the ground because of humans, even though every inclination of human heart is evil from childhood." Genesis 8:21. Even God plays this into the same archetype of this vengeful God deity. Archetype that we see across the civilizations because these are mythological stories. So let's just get to debunking the flood geology that the flood story stands on, right? um According to the book The Rocks Don't Lie by David Montgomery, and The Fatal Flaws of Flood Geology, which is a collection of articles debunking the flood, the worldwide flood if the worldwide flood submerged every mountain 4 to 5 thousand years ago, GDN would have to answer to the following questions: why we don't see uniform sediment layers across all continents, why civilization like Egypt and China show continuous uninterrupted development, and why ice cores, tree rings, and sediment layers doesn't show massive disruption. Local floods absolutely happen, right? Like we can absolutely account for those, but a worldwide scientific flood has never happened. Also, why does it, when it comes to fossils, creatures is usually simple creatures at the bottom, dinosaurs in the middle, mammals at the top. You never find mammals where dinosaurs are. You never find dinosaurs where the simple creatures are. You always find them in that way. So GDN would have to prove something, a mixture, for that to be true, right? According to the worldwide flood, uncovering and correcting most profound errors in history of science. Um, Flood geology just isn't based on real science. It's not based on anything, but it is based on Bernard Ram, a respected Christian theologian, published the Christian view of science and scripture, calling for faith and science to work together. He embraced the ancient earth, saw Genesis as a theological rather than literal, and urged Christians not to fear scientific discovery. But then you have New Age people who comes in and takes his work and completely mushes it. Henry Morris and John Whitcomb, the founders, was once an engineer and a theologian. None of these people are scientists. They wrote the book, The Genesis Flood, in 1961. They rejected Ram's idea of scientific cohesion and doubled down on the literalism and launched the modern young earth creationist movement. Ken Ham, who follows these brothers, these people, he turned creationism commercial and made a creation museum. But again, never did I talk about a PhD from a scientist from any of these men. And not only that, it fails in court. The Scopes trial, 1925, exposed that anti-science bias behind anti-evolution laws. In Edwards and Aguilar, 1987, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that teaching creationism in public school was unconstitutional. In Kitzmiller versus Dover, a federal judge ruled that intelligent design was simply creationism repackaged, not legitimate science. Creationism failed because it could not survive honest scrutiny or provide real evidence. It's the story of the myth, the flood myth, is about power brings judgment, judgment brings regret, and regret comes hope from a renewal is born. It's not an accurate retelling of history at all. But people like to take this stuff and try to make it literal, and then you lose the actual point. When you judge, it could come with some regret. It's a heavy heart that wears the crown, or a heavy head, whichever. You know what I mean. Plain landed.
Capone. Not you, mommy. I'm sorry. Guys, am I supposed to let y'all know 2 minutes in advance before the time ends?
Yes, that would be nice. So
Okay.
I can know when I
My
can
bad,
have it in
y'all.
my mind.
Okay, I'll start with Capone. Capone.
Con. Um, can you
Hold on, let me
add
reset.
3 minutes for my rebuttal? So I'm gonna just go through the
Yes.
whole round, and my last 3 minutes, I'm gonna rebut what the sister was saying.
Okay, are we doing the rebuttal now?
No, it's gonna be towards at the end of my round.
Okay. All right. You ready? You got any
Um,
slides or anything?
sharing screen right now. Give me 1 second. So once again,
We
this
can't see
sister's
nothing on the
trying to.
screen.
Y'all can't see nothing.
I see
No.
it.
Do y'all see it or no?
I see it.
Yeah,
I see
I
it.
see it.
I see.
Okay, I'm just seeing blank, so I'm just gonna start.
Okay, so once again, this sister is trying to fight the Bible. Listen, I told you, only a fool say in their heart that there's no God, right? So what I was doing, I was going through the Genesis to show you the creation, and I showed you the science how the scientists agree with Genesis 1:1 being a scientific phenomenon. I'm not saying that the Bible was talking science. God created science, and scientists is now trying to study God to find out the secrets of the universe, right? So right here, this is the cosmic, what's this called? Um, the cosmic radiation background of the whole universe. So this is the observable universe. So around these edges, so this is what you call the firmament, and everything within it is the universe. So um So I said, so before that, right? Hold on, give me a second. Okay. So I told you, he created the firmament, and the dry land appeared, and he divided the sea, and in the origin of and the sea brought forth and he brought forth the fruit, the vegetation in the seas, right? So bam. So here's our earth here's the earth formed now, right? Let's read more. Let's see what else the Bible says. This is verses 14 to 19. Still in Genesis 1. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven, and he divided the day from the night, and let them be for signs and seasons, and for days and for years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God said that it was good. And the evening and the morning and evening and morning were the fourth day, right? So, bam. So y'all know the story. So the star cluster. So he created the stars also for what? Signs, seasons. This is what the stars is for, and to give light upon the earth. So right here is a star cluster, a stellar group from the James Webb Telescope. Bam. Here's a picture of the zodiac, the constellation that forms the zodiac. Once again, therefore, signs and seasons. Our months are determined by these things. Here's another ellipse photo of the stars in the constellation in one specific area. But if you there's a Google times Google amount of stars, meaning you cannot count them, right? So this is just to show how the Most High, how the creation is in order, right? So let's go on. Verses 20 to 23 said is the origin of the sea and the creatures, of the sea creatures and the flying creatures. So they came from the sea, right? He says, so God created the great creatures of the sea and everything that moves in the water. I can't see that. And everything that moves in the water according to its kind, and every flying thing, every fowl of the air that moves according to his kind, right? So that's that. Bam. So let's go on. Verses 24 and 25, still in Genesis 1. And God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures after his kind, and creeping things, and beasts of the earth after his kind. That's gonna play a part in a second. And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creeped upon the earth after his kind. God saw that it was good. Bam. So here's the early humanoids, right? So these over here, these are apes and beasts after their kind. This is mankind, right? Darwin, we have a problem. Don't worry about it. We're gonna deal with that later. So let's go to the apex of his creation. He said the best for last. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let him have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over the earth, and over every creeping thing that creep upon the earth. This is the apex of creation. This is the most intelligent
2
being in
minutes.
this earth. Okay. Yes, this is the most intelligent being in this earth. We have God's DNA. We have God's information. It's an intelligent design. Our bodies are, and I'm gonna prove that in my rounds. So, yes, we have an intelligent design. We're not made by accident. This is purposely. This is a supreme intelligent interdimensional being creating simultaneously the earth in the heavens, what we call space today. So I don't know what this sister is talking about when she say, "Oh, it's not real, it's fabricated and all this stuff." No, this is the creation, and scientists is trying to catch up to the creation, but they don't want to. But they are fools because they won't admit that there is a God. That's the problem. That's the problem with evolution. And Darwin, with this, he used the natural selection, which is a creationist concept, by the way. He took that along with his other stuff, and he tried to synchronize it to this big thing, and he couldn't prove it. He died not proving evolution. That's why it's still a theory. And DNA wasn't invented yet. So these are some of the things that we should be asking when we're discussing this science and we're discussing evolution in this Big Bang, right? The universe is intelligently designed. It hangs on the thread of a scientific phenomenon, of the scientific manifestations, that principles that you must study, that you must study all unknown, or the universe on. This is some of the things that we need to ask, and I'm gonna go into more in my next round. How much time I got left, sister?
That's it.
That's
Your
the
round
whole
is
10?
done.
No,
Yeah.
that's not the
Okay.
whole 10.
7.
That was 7.
Oh, that was 7?
Yes.
Well,
You're
never mind.
you
Never
got 3
mind.
now
Never
for the
mind.
rebuttal.
No, 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 no,
Begin
no.
now.
I don't want to use it. I don't want to use it. I don't want to use it. Never mind. Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. So we are on the 3rd round. Issa?
Hold on. Hold on. We're gonna let the judges finish up with their thoughts, and
Got it.
then we're gonna allow them to say, their quick 1-2s, and then we're gonna give Rep a second to be able to, restart the audio.
Got it.
Are we allowed to just say something, or is this like an order?
Oh, if you're ready, go ahead, bro. And whoever's ready now, go with the
Um,
spirit.
so my question is for both of you guys. So actually, it's the same question to both of you. No, it's the opposite question. So Issa, um, I'm just a little bit confused of how evolution is a more better proven theory. GD Capone, I'm a little confused why evolution isn't a better theory. I don't know if that you guys can elaborate that in the next couple of rounds, and how you want to go about that.
Uh,
I'll elaborate better moving forward.
I think on my end, you both doing great. I will say that I think that y'all could be a little tighter, a little closer to the topic of creation versus evolution. I guess in my head, I think about you guys are talking about the beginning of human life on Earth, or even just the beginning of life itself. And while I feel like y'all are both touching tangential topics like the flood myth or ancient Near East or even like cosmology or cosmogony. Um, I don't think y'all have either one of you guys have directly touched on the creation of life or the evolution of life.
Okay,
Well, you know
so
what? I take that back. I know Capone read a few verses, but it seems like it has been kind of broad, I guess.
And I think what can be worked on, what I'm looking at is the clarity of position, and then the references on Capone's part. So I hear a lot of assertions being made, like we are designed by God, not by accident. But I don't hear any other references outside of the Bible for the arguments. And so I can go back over my notes and see if I missed something, but that's what I'm looking for as well. Just where's the evidence outside of the biblical canon coming from?
mhm, I agree. So for round one, I felt like this is for IssaKween. I feel like she did present the debate symbolism versus literalism very clearly. She expressed like the distinction between interpreting biblical stories as symbolic metaphors, um, rather than literal historic accounts. And I did actually enjoy her rebuttal because she reiterated points similar to um, mine. I had wrote down the as far as like the clarification on Moses' burial site. It still remains undiscovered. And then also, Capone criticized Issa for claiming that she was keep focusing on the Bible, yet he turned around and he used the Bible to support his argument. So he quoted immediately after stating that Genesis 1:1 to reinforce his point. I do like that both of the debaters, I think they're effectively are using different references, structures through their presentation. I in the round two, I did enjoy Issa's compared story of Noah's Ark to other sacred flood metaphors, and arguing that fossil evidence and modern geology does not support flood geology as a scientific theory, but rather a theological one. And I kind of feel like Capone, for this second go around, that he's kind of repeating previous information without introducing new like biblical science or I'm sorry, what am I trying to say? Whatever right here, geological, sorry, evidence to really sustain his claims. I'm not hearing a lot of evidence that would edify. It's just more or less repeating the same thing. So those are my comments. I like to see, similar to what Cosmic just said, some other references that we know previously was discovered to prove that God is actually real.
So my feedback is I like in the first round when Issa was talking about mythology versus what did I say? For the literal. I kind of didn't know that's exactly what she was doing until she stated at the end, this is, my comparison. Other than that, I think she's doing really, really good with showing her references. Capone, I have to kind of agree with Tanya. Complain, pointing out that Issa is quote unquote attacking the Bible, but that's been your primary source the entire time. So, I mean, I feel like she doesn't really have a choice but to address it when that's been your primary source. Um, I think you could be a little more organized. I do like where you were going with the filament and showing the pictures of Earth and digging into that. I don't know if you have more of that in round three, but I found that very interesting. And you kind of threw in Darwinism in round two. I hope that you give some more time for that, because if you don't circle back on that, the um, it's just kind of just threw out there and it's hanging. Um, Also, I would like to see more references from you, because it's been basically the Bible. I don't think I've heard too many references to other scholars. I also would like for you to, if you can, address directly what she said when she presented her references of scholars and judicial decisions. And just tighten it up a little bit. That's all. Thank you.
Rep, you still here with us?
Yes, I am still here. Give me 1 second.
Okay, let us know when you're ready.
Tap that like button, smash subscribe, and ding that bell like it owes you money. And dive into our vids and drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you. Every bit of love helps Duel of Concepts level up.